How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up
Matisse
CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Conti and Nick. I'm Will Nicholson. As always, I have with me Gino Conti. And we're starting to get into maybe not the mid-season. It's still early for the NFL season. But, you know, we've seen some games. We've seen 3 games at this point.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling
22, baby! That's what we're on, episode 22. We're here. Dude, we've been doing this for we started in April.
5+ months,
Dude,
5.5 months.
That's insane. We started in April. I think I looked up the stats the other day, or just kind of did some math to find out. I think by the end of the year, if we stay on track, we would have hit 35 episodes, which is when you think about it,
it's awesome.
It's a bunch of hours.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of hours.
Y'all don't understand the man hours. Y'all don't understand the grind.
The blood and sweat, tears, all of it. No,
y'all know nothing.
we're happy to be back though. It's a beautiful Wednesday here at Bridgewater State University, and you know we're feeling good. Football tomorrow again.
Yep.
Jacksonville, Cincinnati. You know, we'll get into the Willie Nick picks of the week.
A battle of epic proportions.
Of
Cincinnati versus Jacksonville.
I will say, remember how much heat we were given the league about bad primetime games, and we came on here I think last week and I was like, we haven't had a primetime dud yet, and then we get the Carolina.
Just had to jinx us, Willie.
I did. It was bad. Speaking of last week, we actually we had a bet that was, very unfortunate. I put $5 that the Dolphins would win, and damn, they almost did it. They almost did. I know you guys can't see, but you can hear. I have $5 in my hand. Gino.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hand it right
Please
over.
be happy to come back anytime.
I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word.
Hey, you know what? I was close to. I was really close to eating my words. I would have done the exact same thing.
It was 14-0 in that
close.
game. I was I was sitting with my cousin. Shout out Connor Brown and Ryan Brown.
What's up, boys?
Exactly. They came on the show. I forgot about that.
Yep.
But we're sitting there. We're watching the game, and we see 14-0, and I get up out of my seat and I scream I told you! The universe won't allow it! The Raiders
This is the only universe!
I'm convinced it's the only universe that the Raiders go 3-0, but I digress. Anyway.
Man, my pocket just got heavy for some reason.
we had some good games this week. We got a good amount to talk about, and I think the first point that we're gonna hit here is the Seahawks. So how you feeling about the Seahawks, Gino?
Not good. Not good at all. And I hate to say it because when I see Russel Wilson, I see a Hall of Fame talent.
I would agree.
Without a doubt, you agree, right?
Yes.
When you see a Hall of Fame talent and you see another Hall of Fame talent in Bobby Wagner on the other side of the football, you're like, damn, how could this team lose? Okay, and do you think Pete Carroll's a Hall of Fame coach?
I think he's. I don't know about Hall of Fame, but he's for sure up there, right?
Yeah,
he's a great coach.
So maybe not first ballot, but as the years go on, maybe he makes.
It's possible, yeah.
So
I can see him as
it's possible. You
sure.
could definitely make an argument.
Yes.
So you have a great quarterback, a Hall of Fame quarterback. You have one of the greatest linebackers of all time in Bobby Wagner. Okay, and you have an arguably Hall of Fame coach. Okay, arguably.
Okay.
That's really it. In my opinion.
And they're just a bad team.
Yeah, and
just a bad
you may
team.
say, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. I mean, yeah, okay. And listen, I'm not gonna make the DK Metcalf argument again. Okay,
yeah.
the guy has athleticism that leads to him putting up good statistics. Okay, there, you happy? Happy, everybody?
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
And Tyler Lockett's a speedster. But would you agree that ever since 2014, because that was the last time they didn't win, they made the Super Bowl, right? Ever since 2014, they've kind of been stuck in first round playoff exit, second round playoff exit.
Didn't they have that one NFC Championship versus who? Or no, I'm thinking about the Packers for some reason.
That was when they beat the Packers. And
to get to all right, my timeline's off.
Packers to get to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
but wouldn't you agree that for about 7 or 8 years now, they've kind of been just in that middle ground? To me, may sound like a weird comparison. I hope you understand. They're the Portland Trailblazers of the NFL.
I kind of get that.
Yeah, like they made
you know what? That makes perfect sense. We think about Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, if he had the supporting cast, but no, I get that.
Yeah, so to me, they're the Portland Trailblazers of the NFL. Like they're a great team. Like you really like to see them, you know, and they're always gonna be there. Okay,
Yeah.
but they're never gonna really. I mean, besides when they had the Legion of Boom, because that was special. Okay,
Yeah.
that was, I wouldn't say unlike anything we've seen, but that was the first time we've seen a dominant defense take over in a long time. Okay, that's the first time we've seen something like that. I'd argue since like 2004 with the Ravens, with like Lewis and Reed and Peter Bulware, and you know what I'm saying?
I would even make the argument that maybe the Rams later in 2018, very good defense, just Jared Goff.
I mean, they lost though.
They
You know
did.
what I
They
mean?
did lose.
So
All right, Super Bowl winning.
Yeah,
yes,
Super Bowl
okay.
winning. So, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
to me, if you're in that like limbo, first round out, second round out, something's got to change.
Exactly.
You know,
it's
and
position the Celtics were in.
Yeah,
like, for the past couple of years.
Exactly, and maybe I really, you know what, I'm gonna say it. I think it's time to blow it up.
Oh, for
Don't
sure.
you?
Yeah,
I think
dude, we
it's time
heard
to
Russ
blow it
trade
up.
rumors this offseason. I think it's time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people disagree with me, but I don't know, man. Got to trade Russ. You got to trade Russ,
that's what I'm
and
thinking.
you got. If I were at Seahawks, I think you missed out on an opportunity. I would have traded Russell Wilson, and I would have tried to get the #1 overall pick.
I don't know if they take that though.
Well, I mean, if you have to throw in more to get that #1 overall pick, then do it. But to me,
I think the #1 overall pick is the thing that people spend like literal years and seasons to get. I think that's why you don't see it traded too often.
Well, but here's the thing, like, I mean, hindsight's 2020. We know in these first few games that Lawrence has not been good.
Yes.
Right? But at the time, he was dubbed to be a generational prospect.
Yes.
Okay, but at the same time, like, shout out Mr. Conti, my dad. He says it all the time. He goes, a prospect is just that, a prospect.
It's true.
You know what? And he goes...
And Mr. Conti knows best.
Yes, Mr. Conti does know best.
He does. He
you
does.
know, not me. I'm Mr. Conti Jr. but
Shout out Mr. Conti.
Shout out Mr. Conti. But he says it. But I mean, listen, and he really never like coached at nothing or anything. I'm not saying he's not smart. The man definitely knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But this is just like a normal dude. And he just says a prospect is just that.
And he's totally right. And like, look, as media and like, you know, all social media with the NFL sports, anything, we love to just drool over prospects, right? Mm-hmm. And we see it every year. In 2019, Zion, and then it moved on to Anthony Edwards, and then, you know, halfway through the season it was LaMelo Ball. Just to speak in NBA terms, we see it too.
We're
in
all
the
guilty
NFL.
of it. I'm guilty of it.
It happens
Will's guilty
for sure.
of it. Everyone, like D'Lo's guilty of it. You know,
It's exciting. It's super exciting to be, you know, excited about the next. But we keep in mind that like these guys need to play games, right? They need to play games. And for the Seahawks, look, here's my problem with the Seattle Seahawks. This team is nothing, and I mean nothing, without Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Russell Wilson absolutely runs this team. This would be a bottom team in the NFL without him, in my opinion.
Well, Russell Wilson runs this team, and they're 1-2.
Exactly.
So.
Well, here's my problem with the Seahawks, right? Their offense just shuts down after being hot. We saw it versus Tennessee, where they go up big, and then the offense, it just stunts. It stops moving. It stops being able to move the ball. The deep ball to Tyler Lockett get figured out. And that's why we see the first couple of games in the Seahawks season, it's like, oh, MVP Russ, because he's getting all these deep balls to Tyler Lockett. And in my opinion, in football in general, I think defenses get better as the year goes on. I think it's just,
of course.
I think it's just a fact. As the year goes on in any football, defenses get better.
Especially as the weather gets colder.
Exactly.
And when the weather gets colder,
just in general though, having film on guys, stuff like that.
Yeah. And the ball gets harder to catch because it's a literal brick. I'm sure you felt it before.
Oh, of course.
Oh my God, like catching a bullet in the winter. I'm telling you, that shit hurts, man.
It does.
That hurts. And as you have to rely more on the ground game, you have to move more into a 5-man front.
That's why you see all these teams with really good rushes are really the ones that win Super Bowls when you think about it.
Yes,
it's how it works. Okay, besides like Tom Brady teams who haven't always been great at running the ball, but still you need a good offensive line. And that's my thing with the Seahawks. They don't have a good offensive line. We see week in, week out, Russ is just running for his life, and he's not going to survive like that. And moving on to the defense, their secondary, I think, is still a massive problem. I think there's holes in that secondary. yeah, you have Jamal Adams, and the thing with the Seahawks, why I still have faith in them, I think they have to be in panic mode now. They're 1-2, but my thing with the Seahawks is they are moving to better, right? You know you have a bad secondary. You got Jamal Adams, but you need more pieces, right? In my opinion, the NFC West is the best division in football right now.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt, and they're the worst in their division, which is unfortunate.
And want to know something? Shaquille Griffin, he's no world beater.
No.
Okay, but he's a good, solid cornerback in the league. Okay, like he's a starter. He's good, and he'll give you quality games. No, albeit he's not some superstar, but he's not a bum. Like he's a good, solid, dependable corner. Okay, that is like the foundation. If you don't have superstars, the guys that you're looking for are good, solid, steady, dependable guys,
yes.
and they just let one of them walk right to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They let him walk. Like, to me, that's ignoring what your biggest need is.
Yes.
And yeah, like you said, Jamal Adams, but Jamal Adams really is just a glorified linebacker in my opinion.
He is great player. I think as a safety, he has the most sacks in a season or something.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
No disrespect, like he is an elite,
fantastic player.
He's an elite
yes.
defender. He's
but
not
the
really
Seahawks
a
aren't out to get pass rush right now. Like you have Bobby Wagner and like their front eight, I'll say is decent. Okay,
they have a past his prime Carlos Dunlap.
Yes.
Okay.
And look, the secondary can't cover over the top. And we saw Derrick Henry, once he breaks a hole, like, they just can't tackle him. It's Derrick Henry. It's how it's going to be. So
I'll be real with you. Besides, what's his name, Jamal Adams, I can't think of a secondary guy that they have now.
They're all just bad.
Am I being stupid?
No. It's
like, am I missing someone obvious?
No, you're not. It's all just pretty bad. So that's the problem. And when you're in the NFC West, think about who they have to play: the 49ers, the Rams, the Cardinals. All teams who can go over the top, and this is why I think that they're going to miss the playoffs.
Oh, for real? Oh, absolutely.
Like 100%.
Absolutely.
And not even like, oh, they didn't win the division, and it's like the NFC East or whoever wins the division makes the play. The NFC West is tight. It's the tightest division in the league. It's what, 3-0, 3-0, 2-1, and 1, and then 1-2.
Just lost.
Yeah, it's crazy how tight that division is. And I don't think they're a wild card team. I've looked at their schedule. They don't seem like a playoff team to me.
Is it a hard schedule going forward?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
From what I remember, I don't remember exactly the games. I forget who they have this week. I can literally check right here, though. I didn't pick them.
Oh, San Francisco.
Okay, so they play San Francisco. So that's a division loss that they're going to get, in my opinion.
And division losses are killer.
Yeah, for sure. Because we already know they're not going to win the division. But also stacking up, they're just not. They're not going to make the playoffs. There's no way they're not going to get a wild card. And if you're the Seahawks, like, what do you do from here? Like you said, you're stuck in this no man's land. And I think it's time to free Russ.
Yeah, and obviously not that. Well, maybe would you trade Russ at the trade deadline? Would you do it?
No, I don't think so. Because there's already no shot that they're going to make the playoffs, and I don't think.
So then why wouldn't you?
Well, I think you can get more value out of him at the end of the season, right?
I mean.
Might
maybe,
be more valuable.
Maybe,
and also think about just like moving a guy and like now you have to get a new quarterback and look, every NFL team likes to believe that they're good and they have a shot, right? If you're at the trade deadline and you just trade Russ, I think you lose heart in a team and then the locker room gets a little iffy. If you trade like your star player, obviously it's a business and guys get moved, but when you trade like a Hall of Famer, that's I think that messes and it rubs people the wrong way and But who knows? Yeah, the Seahawks, I think, are in dire need to make a change.
Yeah, and you know what? I really don't. I just dropped my pen. Please hold for 2.5 seconds. Okay, good. So I think it's time to fire Carroll, man. I'm sorry.
So?
And you know, like
I don't know if the fault can all be put on Carroll.
I'm not saying it all is on him. Like definitely management. I'm telling you, they really screwed themselves, and it really is like kind of bad to go this far back, but it's kind of true. Do you remember when they traded Jimmy Graham? They traded Max Unger, who at the time, he's retired now, okay, but at the time in his day was an elite center, okay? And listen, the tight end position is very important. The tight end position is very, very, very important, okay? But Jimmy Graham, obviously, as we saw, was past his prime, and he still is, but he's at this point, he's a decent tight end. Okay, but at his time, his trade value was really high because he had elite seasons, but he really plummeted when he went to Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, like, you traded away the quintessential piece. Like, the center is pretty much the quarterback of the offensive line. Okay, you traded away the quintessential piece to the most quintessential personnel lineup in football for a tight end. And again, I'm not trying to minimize tight ends because they're very important and they're rookie quarterback's best friend.
Yes.
Okay, but Russ isn't a rookie. Okay, and I'm not saying he could work with anyone you throw out there. But I would like to think that Russell Wilson can kind of get something out of a tight end that usually like a below average or decent enough quarterback wouldn't be able to get out of him. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I agree with you. And the thing that I want to say, we get so worked up about receivers and running backs, and we've seen in the NFL draft, it becomes like a new thing that the first round for running backs really starts in the second round, right? And I think that speaks volume to how important offensive line is in the NFL. Shout out Big G.
Yeah.
And Cam Tate, he's on the offensive line now too.
Absolutely.
But the offensive line is so we see it. The Browns get a good offensive line, get a good running game. They're Super Bowl contenders in my opinion.
There's literally no secret to what the recipe of success is, and yet teams for some reason can't figure it out.
Well, don't get me wrong. There's still like you want the Randy Mosses, you want the DeAndre Hopkins, you want the big time receivers. They do win you games. Julio Jones in the 28-3 Super Bowl. Granted, they did lose, but Julio kept them in that game for so long.
What does a good receiver, or well, I wouldn't say good running back because that's not true. But what do these good players? Actually, yes, I will say running back. What do these good players matter if the offensive line can't protect? But they don't.
That's my point. This is what we undervalue the offensive line.
And this is why we were criticizing the Bengals for taking Jamar Chase instead of Penei Sewell.
Absolutely.
Granted that Jamar Chase is playing well.
Yes.
Okay. Granted he is playing.
And
well.
in all fairness, they did get offensive line in like the third rounds, the later rounds.
Jackson Carman in the second round, who was projected to be a fourth round pick.
Yes.
That was your best. You could have drafted. I said this last week.
They got offensive line.
Oh my god! No.
That was
that's
on
not
their
enough.
draft.
That's not enough. And then they drafted Billy Price like 2 years ago. Who the hell is Billy Price? It just sounds like a scrub.
Hey, I'm just saying they're gonna regret for a while passing on Penei Sewell.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen him in Detroit. Man, he had a tough preseason, but he's adjusted. He's looking like he could be a bad boy in this league.
All they're gonna do is put up stats. I'm talking about the Bengals.
Yes.
All they're gonna do is put up stats,
I agree.
make highlight plays, and make fantasy owners happy. Thanks, buddy. But but when it comes to actually winning football games, sorry, you didn't have Penei Sewell, so looks like you're gonna have to get sacked all the time.
You mentioned the weather earlier, right?
Yeah.
But when the weather cools down and you need these ground and pound teams, it's hard to go over the top. Now look, the league is changing wildly, right? It always does. It always is going to change. Where we see these big time receivers who win a lot of games and they make Super Bowl runs. They do. Think about like the Julio Jones, like all these players who have played well. I mean, if you want to say
they play in domes.
But I'm talking about playoff success. It happens. I'm not saying that receivers are completely undervalued. You need good receivers to win football games. But I think the offensive line gets shut out a little bit. We've ranted about the offensive line for a minute now. I won't do it anymore. What I do want to talk about for a little bit.
So the offensive line.
What I do want to talk about a little bit is the Cowboys, right? Yeah. Gino, I need to know your opinion. Are the Cowboys for real?
Well, their offensive line
is not good. They do not have a good offensive line.
Well, Zach Martin's going to be a Hall of Famer, but other than that, that's it. You don't believe that? You don't think Zach Martin will be a Hall of Famer?
I hate saying people are Hall of Famers.
I think Zach Martin's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Who knows? So my thing with the Cowboys, right? We saw them Monday night. They beat the Eagles in an NFC East primetime slugfest, which is my new favorite sentence to say.
Primetime slugfest?
NFC East primetime slugfest. Yeah. That's all
NFC
it is.
NFC least.
Look, the NFC East is trash. The Cowboys are not a contender. And I am sick and tired of doing this every single year. It happens every year. The Cowboys play someone in the NFC East in prime time. They win convincingly, and we're like, here they come. Here's the Cowboys, and look. Are they the most talented in their division? Yes, absolutely. They have the most talent. They're better than Washington. They're better than the Eagles. They're better than the Giants, and they should win their division, in my opinion. I also really like Dak Prescott. I think he's a solid QB, and
I think he's an elite quarterback.
I would agree. He's in that spot right now where half of the league, I would say, even maybe more than half, either has a rookie quarterback or a trash quarterback, right? There's very few teams who have, primetime quarterback who is good. It's hard to find, right? That's Dak. Dak doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't make a lot of turnovers. He knows when to make the big plays. He protects the ball. And you can even argue he's mobile, right?
Dak, of course he's mobile.
He's more of a pocket passer guy.
Arguable. He's mobile.
He is mobile, right? But his accuracy is big to me, right? And this defense, right, looks a lot quicker than it did last year.
Big part of that, right?
Micah Parsons.
No.
For the defense being quicker?
No. Not because of Micah Parsons.
It's
because they fired Mike Nolan. Do you know who Mike Nolan is?
Was he their defensive coordinator?
Mike Nolan was their defensive coordinator. In 2020, he was hired by the Cowboys. His last job in the NFL before getting hired in 2020 was in 2014, where he got fired for having the 31st ranked defense in the NFL. Okay,
they were garbage.
Didn't have a job for 6 years because they felt as though his systems, his schematics, they felt as though they were antiquated, out of style, out of date.
And the Cowboys said, "Bring him here."
And that's the guy you hired. They hired Dan Quinn. Okay, he was the Falcons head coach for a bit.
28-3. That's what everyone knows about Dan Quinn.
Listen, I understand 28-3, haha. But his specialist and his specialty is on defense.
It is.
And yes, Micah Parsons helps. Okay, but he's not the stalwart yet. He's making mistakes. Okay,
but he's looked really good.
He's looked good.
They moved him to defensive end, which he was not drafted for. He is for sure a linebacker, but he's a good pass rusher. And look, he went hard last night. He got Jalen Hurts. He had tackles for losses. He is playing very good wherever they put him. I'm excited, and it's so obvious that he was the best defensive player in the draft. And in my first ever mock draft that I made, the first one that I really sat down and made, I went, okay, quarterback. The Falcons should not take a quarterback. They should go Micah Parsons. They need that on their defense. They didn't, and now we're seeing the effects of it. The Cowboys' defense is getting better, and the Falcons are getting 43 or whatever was dropped on them by the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
it's rough. Okay.
Do you really think that the Cowboys are a fraud?
Yes, I do.
Usually, I agree with you. But, like you said, this year, they gave Tampa Bay everything they could handle and then some, and just barely lost. And we're talking about Tampa Bay. We're not talking about, no offense, I'm sorry, we're not talking about the Pats. Okay, we're not talking about the Chicago Bears or the Bengals or the Jaguars. We're talking about the Super Bowl champs.
That's true.
Okay,
but Gino, I can't do another year of this. I can't do another year where the Cowboys are for real. Look, here's the thing with the Cowboys, right? They're not a contender, and here's why. Their secondary still just gives up big plays. It just happens. Their secondary
it's not the best.
It's not good. Look, the Cowboys are still gonna get beat on teams who can go over the top, and there's a lot of them in the NFC.
Well,
there's a lot of teams who like to go over the top.
Do you believe that they'll lose against Carolina then? I guess we'll find out when we next pick. But
we will.
But do you think that Sam Darnold is?
I'll spoil it. I do think they beat Carolina because I don't think this Carolina defense can go for much longer. Also, JC.
Man, dude,
JC
got C.J. Henderson.
Oh my god,
dude, C.J. Henderson was very good this rookie year, and he performed well this year.
I'm not buying it.
Dude, I'm telling you, C.J. Henderson and J.C. Horn are going to be an elite cornerback duo.
Only time will tell. Hey, hot takes of the week. We'll bring it back just for Gino.
You don't need to have a segment for it. It happens every week. Anyway.
It just is every week.
Yeah.
But who knows? With the Cowboys, I mean, I don't believe them. I can't do another year of this where we're believing. But Cowboys, Carolina. I will say, and I'll do my picks eventually later in the show. But there are a lot of good games this week, and us being from Massachusetts and being Patriots fan. It would be an absolute crime if we didn't talk about the big game this Sunday night.
So the big game heavily involves...
There goes the water.
Heavily involves the offensive line.
And more offensive line.
Oh, man, I do sound like Big Jake, don't I?
All the offensive line. We got Bucks and Pats, though, if you didn't know what we were talking about. And Tom Brady's return to New England. And I'm excited for this one, man. I'm excited, but I'm heartbroken at the same time. Shout out Colin Ainge. I saw on Twitter. He said this is going to be the hardest week of my life. Yeah, man. Yeah, all the stuff you saw come out today. Yeah. It's going to be tough.
Who was that? The Wild Hunter guy, the Australian. He's angry. He's angry.
Steve Herman?
Is that him? Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I feel about like how Patriots fans should be with Tom Brady right now.
Yeah.
After coming off of a loss.
Yeah.
Crockett, he's angry.
Well, oh man, it's gonna be a tough game. I'm just gonna go out and say it. This game's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a hard one. It's gonna be hard because the Bucs are going to win and they're gonna blow us out. I'm sorry.
You really think it's gonna be a blowout?
Yeah, man.
First of all, it's gonna be a blowout.
How sad is it gonna be to see Tom Brady break the all-time passing yards in New England?
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
That breaks my heart.
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
Really?
Dude, you're telling me like Bill Belichick was with Tom Brady all 20 years. Like you're telling me that Bill doesn't have like a trick up of his sleeve?
The whole
to
league,
stop
the whole league has seen
every...
Tom Brady for 20 years,
yes,
and they
but,
still can't.
But
stop
they
him.
didn't see. But they weren't at practice every day with Tom.
That's fair.
Okay, like they weren't there every single day. They were only there on Thursday, Sunday, Monday, to see Tom Brady.
I guess.
You know, like Bill Belichick was there every living, breathing day to see his tendencies, to see everything. And I'm not telling you he's gonna shut him out. Like by no means, by no means,
no
he's gonna shut him out.
There's no way.
There's no way that Brady doesn't have. I'm sorry, Bill doesn't have something up his sleeve.
It's gonna have to be. Hold on, I want to go to this real quick. Did you see his press conference today that he had?
I remember
So
he said something. I just don't really.
He walks in and he goes like, "How's it going, everyone? Any big stories this week?" Or just something.
That's actually really funny.
It's really funny to see Bill like this, but it's gonna be a hard game to watch.
Oh, Bill did that?
That was Bill.
Oh, I thought it was Brady. Oh,
did
dude.
I say Brady?
Oh, yeah, I think you did.
Apologies, I meant Bill.
No, you're fine. No, but that's actually even more funny knowing that came from Bill.
And
That's actually wicked funny.
He walks in and he goes to Tom Brady. He's like, "How we doing? Any big storylines today?"
Yeah. Does it just so happen to be a specific opponent we're facing this week?
No, he gave Brady high praise, and look,
of course he did.
I tried to buy tickets to this game. They start at like $500.
Like,
for nosebleeds, $500, dude.
I saw like $1,000.
It's ridiculous. It is insane how much these tickets are. Randy Moss is gonna be there. Teddy Bruschi's gonna be there.
That's nuts.
Whole bunch of people are gonna be there. And I'm predicting this is gonna be the most watched football game ever.
Oh, me too.
It has to be.
Absolutely. Bigger than Super Bowls.
It will be for sure. This is Michael Jordan type stuff. Like this is where you gotta watch it, right?
Yep.
You had to watch Michael Jordan. I wasn't alive, according to my dad. You're gonna have to watch this game, and it's going to be so sad, man, because I think we're going to get blown out, but my prediction for this game is the offense is finally going to click with New England. We'll see Mac start to go off a little bit. And I know you have the argument about the Tampa 2 defense and what the Tampa Bay Bucks defense likes to run, but I think that, we finally get Mac settled in. I don't know if Trent Brown's back yet. I haven't looked into any of that, but I hope we can fix the offensive line miscues. But Tampa's offense is too damn good. It's too good. It's going to beat our secondary. I guarantee you, Jonathan Jones is going to give up a big play along with Adrian Phillips, who are the two Patriots corners I'm not happy with.
They're missing Antonio Brown.
Come on.
They're missing Antonio Brown. Giovanni Bernard was hurt last week too. He was hurt. Okay, Mike Evans. I mean, I'm sure he's going to play, but he was shaken up a bit last week. Okay, and that secondary, like for the love of God, like they had to. Okay. Listen, I know you have different thoughts about me than this, but they didn't pick up Richard Sherman because it was just like, oh, let's get him. They did it because they needed to. Okay,
I think they need to. Their secondary is struggling.
No, their secondary's banged up. Jamel Dean was hurt. Okay, Sean Murphy-Bunting was hurt. I think another one of their corners got hurt. Like Carlton Davis is like the only one that they have left there, and then for that it's just a bunch of backups. Winfield's a safety.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're very.
I throw them all in the same.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You corner coach, you.
They were very thin at the cornerback position. They were, and like God bless you, Ross Cockrell, but okay, I'm not. No, okay.
No, they need to. I think Richard Sherman's a good signing, but again, another time
Okay,
for Richard Sherman.
But listen, if it was such a good signing, they would have done it week 1 or in the off season. They did it because they were desperate.
See, you said that as a bad thing. I don't think that's anything wrong with that. You see the best guy. You see the best guy available. You already have a young secondary, and now you have a veteran in there. I think maybe they even keep him for.
Well, they did sign him for the remainder of the season, but again, what I'm telling you is, if no injuries occur to the corners, they wouldn't have signed him.
It's possible. I mean, we heard rumors like earlier in the season about him wanting
It's
to
gonna
go there.
see. Here's the thing.
But who knows?
I actually do want to talk a little bit about this because to me, this is something that's important, and I think that this is something that people are overrating a bit. Okay, Russell Wilson is not a man-to-man corner. When you were a blitz-heavy team like
Wait, Russell Wilson?
Did I say Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did I say? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman.
That's Shaq to the Fool, I guess.
I was like, he most certainly is not. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. That's an oof on my part. But Richard Sherman is not a man-to-man corner. Okay, when you are a blitz-heavy team, when you're not in the Tampa 2, when you're a blitz-heavy team, because they send lots of pressure, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they have people who can do it. Pro bowlers like Barrett, guys like JPP, Ndamukong Suh, Joe Tryon, their rookie, has been really impressing lately, and he's like a thumper who can blitz a lot. He's a blitz-heavy linebacker at the end as well. When you're somebody like that, or when that's your defensive identity, and you're a zone corner, that means really you're forced to play man-to-man. Okay, and at the time, or now, you're 33, 34 years old. Like, it wasn't your strength to begin with. Now you're older. Now you're older. So, to me, I mean, unless you're playing like a man-zone scheme, which, obviously they're pros, so it's not complicated for them. But, I mean, that obviously Bill Belichick will be able to depict, he'll be able to notice it right away, and so won't Mac. Unless you're running a man-zone, you're putting Richard Sherman out of his comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? So why would you sign somebody to put them outside their comfort zone?
Look, I think, like you said, they needed people, and I think Richard Sherman's just looking for any job he can get at this point. And I think it's a good addition. I think you needed corners, you get a veteran guy. But, is it the best pickup in the history of corners? No. For sure not. It's not a steal or anything like that.
It's a name signing. He was signed because of his name.
It might be a little more of a name signing in my opinion, but who knows? Time will tell how Richard Sherman
and
will do.
I'll say this: the only advantage that he has, because he's old. Okay, like for a cornerback, he's old.
He's old.
Okay,
I agree.
In a cover 2, the responsibility of a cornerback is the flats. Okay, anything that's 10 yards to your inside shoulder or your inside hip, you carry it 10 yards. Past 10 yards, you pass it off to the safety. Okay. If you go to your outside, on your outside hip towards the sideline, it becomes man-to-man coverage. Okay? And that's good for Richard Sherman, just to say, hey, sit here. This is your bubble, so to say. This is your bubble.
Go crazy.
Yeah. This is your bubble. If anyone comes in it, get him. Okay, pick the ball off, jump it, or tackle. And not to mention, he's not the best tackler in the world either. He's not very physical. Okay? And he's a little.
He got burned in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, by Sammy Watkins. And Sammy Watkins only exists week 1, so that's embarrassing.
And the Super Bowl.
Yeah, apparently. But do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's the only upside. And again, I'll reiterate, when the secondary is press coverage a lot because you're so blitz heavy, you're man-to-man because you're so blitz heavy, that takes somebody out of their comfort zone. Why wouldn't you pick up somebody who maybe name brand isn't as well known, but can play to your system? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think Richard Sherman is still good, but I get what you're saying. To tie this back into the Bucks and Pats real quick, 2 questions for you. 1, who is going to win?
Tampa.
And 2, will Tom Brady and Bill Belichick shake hands post-game?
Yes.
This is a big debate. Shadow calling names again. He said that no matter the outcome, Tom Brady and Bill are just to the locker room.
I think that they'll shake hands.
I agree with you.
They're gentlemen.
I think they'll shake hands too.
They're gentlemen.
They are. No, this is a big debate actually we're having.
Why?
Well, who knows? Like, is there bad blood? I think
there is, but
from
like,
today we've seen Bill said the relationship between them's good, so I think they'll shake hands.
Of course, and you know what? Like, let's be real.
Think about it. Think about seeing that picture, dude. How many times we're gonna see that picture?
Listen, but here's the thing.
We're gonna be showing our kids that picture.
We are.
Them shaking hands.
It's not gonna be like a hug, like, oh my god, I love you. It's gonna be a quick, like, hey, how we doing?
Thanks, coach.
Hey, thanks, coach. Great game. See you later.
Yeah,
I'm telling
you.
you,
And that's how they both handle themselves.
Yeah,
the exact same.
that's how it's gonna be.
Yes.
And well, here's the thing. Do you think Brady's gonna get cheered or booed?
Oh, I think pregame he gets cheered. During the game, I think it's strictly business, baby. It's New England. However, if you're a New England fan and you're going there to you boo Tom Brady or whatever. You're just a loser. I'm sorry.
You
if
do know
you're
there's
going
gonna,
Tom
there's
Brady,
gonna be that one guy in the nosebleeds.
you
suck, Brady! You traitor!
You traitor! You left the Pats for Tampa? That's all it's gonna be.
Tampa? Just for the hot woman?
The warm weather! Oh my god, we suck at Boston accents. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. We hit the 750 mark, so do we now transition to the new segment, Willie Nick Picks of the Week?
It's not new, you did it last week.
It's still new.
I know.
It's still a little bit new. Alright, so if you didn't know, last week I made my picks. I think I went 12-4 on them or something like that.
Yes,
12 games I did, or 12 games I hit, and 4 games I didn't hit on.
Believe me, he went 12-3 or 13-3 last week.
I think I hit 12 the week before too.
Oh, so
I'm on a pretty consistent streak.
12-4 every week ain't bad.
No, I'll take it.
But making another bet, Will?
Hey, we'll see. We'll see when we go by. But every week I just do my picks for the week. I do them with my grandpa. We do it every Thursday. Or Wednesday, sorry. And it's just fun to do, so I figured I'd bring it to the show. So, starting off, Jacksonville at Cincinnati. I have Jacksonville. I think this is where Trevor Lawrence gets his first win. I think that Joe Burrow hasn't looked as good recently. And, you know, who knows? Anything can happen in Jacksonville. We saw the 109-yard kick six. Who knows?
That's unbelievable.
Excuse me.
That's unbelievable.
It was unbelievable to see. Washington, Atlanta. Give me Washington. Atlanta just looks like they're struggling too much. Washington, we love the grit and grind. I love Chase Young. I love everything that team's about, and I have Antonio Gibson in fantasy. So,
just for reference, Atlanta struggled to beat the 0-3 New York Giants.
They did.
So
it's gonna look rough. Buffalo, Houston. I'm taking Buffalo. I will say, all these games are very, very good, in my opinion. Even Jacksonville, Cincinnati, it's 2 the number 1 picks. But these games in general, I think a lot of them have very good teams. This is one of the few gimmies where I'm like, okay, Buffalo's going to beat Houston, right? Like, I think that one's pretty obvious. So I have that one. Detroit and Chicago. I have Detroit winning this one. Detroit's been in some real tight games, man. Almost came back versus the 49ers.
It's a heartbreaker to lose because somebody breaks an NFL record. That's insane.
That has to hurt.
That's a heartbreaker.
That has to hurt so bad.
That's demoralizing.
It is. Did you hear the radio, too?
I didn't, no.
The radio was like, oh, did he get it? No. Oh, he got it. It was like, it was insane.
Was it the Charlotte Hornets guy?
No. I wish, dude. I wish. And also,
Tucker!
What a beauty!
He's got a leg from downtown!
I can already hear it. I love the Charlotte Hornets and that, so he's a great guy, though. To talk about Chicago, though, I mean, Justin Fields got absolutely annihilated.
That's not on him, though, you know?
It's just, you know, bad offensive line.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So, yeah, Chicago. Exactly. Chicago, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you're not going to get your first win for Justin Fields for a while. Ooh, I can't even talk anymore.
Get out.
Get out. Whack. Get out. I have Dallas over Carolina. I have Dallas winning. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I think the Carolina streak that they've been on ends right here. Dallas has a high-powered offense. I think they win another game, and I think the media goes crazy for one more week over whether Dallas is a contender or not. Indianapolis, and Miami. Give me Indy. I think it's time for them to get their first win. Miami is without Tua right now. They almost beat the Raiders, but they are also the Raiders. So I think Indy takes this one. What do we got? Cleveland, Minnesota. I have Cleveland. I think that run game is really going to give Minnesota a hard time. And I think that Cleveland, and I said it earlier too, is a Super Bowl contender. They have the pieces. They don't have Baker throw 50 times a game. And he plays more of a game manager, and that's not a shot at Baker at all. But I think that's how he operates.
He does the job.
He gets the job done, and he's done a great job of it too. New Orleans and the Giants. Give me New Orleans. Jameis is going to get another win here. This defense has been way better than I expected, and the Giants are the Giants. And that's not a gimme either. I think that'll be a good game, but I have New Orleans. Tennessee versus the Jets. Give me Tennessee. And I will say this. Shout out to Nick Drags. Me and him have an ongoing bet right now. $10. I believe that the New York Jets have a tough schedule, and I think that they're going to go 0-17.
I don't see that.
Here's the rules. Just to go over it real quick. If they go 0-17, I get $10. If they win one game, no one gets any money. If they win 2 or more, I owe Nick Drags.
That's bullshit. You're betting they go 0-17. If they lose a game,
well,
you lose the bet.
His bet was he thinks they win more than 2 games.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
He says they win at least 2 games. So
I think they'll.
we'll
I
have to
don't
see.
think they'll win 2 games, but I don't think they'll go 0-17.
It's the Jets, man. I wouldn't count it out. You never know. Kansas City, Philadelphia, gonna be Kansas City. They finally bounced back. Another NFC East team. It's gonna be a wash. I think Kansas City. Look, they have their growing pains right now, but we will see.
That defense is bad, man.
It is pretty bad. As we said, defenses get better over the season, but we're gonna have to see. LA versus Arizona. This is my must-watch game of the week besides the New England game. You got 2 3-0 teams, both NFC West. Going to be a very, very good game. I have the Rams. In my opinion, the Rams are the best team in football right now. It's in LA.
I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if you remember that, but
you did. And Matthew Stafford to win MVP.
Yeah.
Which isn't looking too bad.
I don't think he's the runaway, but I think
he's in the
conversation.
conversation for sure.
Yeah.
Another NFC West matchup, San Francisco versus Seattle. We talked about Seattle. I have San Francisco winning this game. I think they're still a very, very good team. Jimmy G's been struggling a little bit, but it's not time to bring in Trey Lance.
Real quick about San Francisco. I didn't learn this until last week. Did you know that they literally motion every single play?
In San Francisco?
Yeah, on offense. I had no idea.
I didn't know that either.
I paid attention
until it was mentioned to you. You're like, oh my god.
And then Chris Collinsworth said something. And then I paid attention. I'm like, oh my god, they literally send him in motion every single play.
I think a lot of that's to read, whether it's zone or man too. It's smart. I might as well do it.
But
if teams are showing it,
obviously I see it a good amount, but I've never seen it every single. Either or I've just never noticed it. But every freaking play, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't notice that. Baltimore versus Denver. Give me Baltimore. This is where Denver's luck streak runs out. Fun fact, actually, Denver is 3-0, but the teams that they've played combined are 0-9.
I'm gonna be real with you.
I don't
want to make a bet because I very well could be wrong. I think Denver wins this game. I do.
I don't know, Gino. I don't know.
I think when you have a defensive guru like Vic Fangio, okay, somebody who knows how to defend people, been around the league for a long, long time, and obviously he's not outdated because he has a 3-0 team, and the offense looks pretty damn good even though they're hurt. I think Denver wins this game.
Here's what we'll do. I don't want to make another money bet just yet. Those are special, right? Those are for fun times. Let us know on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you follow us on at Conti Nich.
I'm gonna lose. Come on.
No, but let us know what the punishment per se should be, or what the bet should be.
They're gonna pick something brutal.
I know. I can't wait. We'll see. No. We won't do something too bad. It'll be like Gino has to wear a Giannis jersey or something funny.
No.
That's even worse.
That's even worse.
That's awesome. Green Bay, Pittsburgh. I have Green Bay winning this game. Pittsburgh struggled. Big Ben has not looked good. Aaron Rodgers just had that big game-winning drive. I have Green Bay. We talked about it. Tampa Bay versus New England. Tampa Bay, I think that Tampa's too much. We did a whole thing about that, so Tampa Bay. And the Chargers versus Vegas. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. I have the Chargers. There's no way that Vegas can go for this long undefeated. There's no way.
I'm not picking Vegas to win either. I agree. After I saw what the Chargers did to the Chiefs. Okay, yes. I think that the Vegas
Asante Samuel Jr. looks fantastic.
Yes, he does.
He looks very good.
He was on my underrated pick too.
He was.
That?
I do.
So I had him. I had Ramondre, and so 2 of those have been hits.
I can't believe that. That's insane. What happens when me and Gino pay thorough attention to a draft is insane.
But you said that the universe doesn't allow the Raiders to go 3-0. I don't think they're gonna win.
The Milky Way galaxy does not allow the Raiders to go 4-0. It just won't happen. I'm sorry.
Let's just say the Raiders do win. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. No,
I don't even want to think about it.
I don't want to think about what I'm going to do.
My brain does not allow me to process.
When the Raiders go 3-0. Well, yeah, that was the Willie Nick picks of the week. I'll update you guys. I can't talk, sorry. I'll update you guys next week about how they go. Just a little fun thing to do, talk about the games.
I like it. It's a good
for the week. And thank you everyone who listened to us today. It was very fun episode. I like these NFL episodes right now. They're super. Oh my god, I am so sorry.
Chicken little soup.
They are super football heavy at the moment.
And they're easy.
They're easy. But as the season kind of goes on, and when basketball starts up too, we're gonna get into the NBA and kind of been doing what we've been doing. But like I said before, follow us Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Gino hates Twitter. We have a link tree in the bio. for all that. All right, so it got cut off again towards the end. I don't know why this keeps happening, but yeah, still a great show. Follow us Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Conti and Nick, and D-Lo, as always.
John Rowe.
Peace.